Okay guys, so in this video we're going to be talking about transformations. Specifically, we're going to be talking about translations, how to perform translations. So, first of all, there's a couple of things that they can ask us to do when it comes to translations. First thing that they could do is ask us to translate the images according to basically the rule that they tell us. So in this case, we have a shape, triangle ABC. And they want us to move every single point to the right 3 units and then down 4 units. So that's called a translation or a slide. You're sliding the points to the right 3 units and then down 4 and then letting it go. What would that shape look like? For the second example, the rule they want us to do is translate the image to the left 3 and then up 5 units. And in the last example, they want us to translate this straight down 4 units. So translations is another way of saying slide. So you're sliding the image. For these rigid transformations, basically what rigid means is that you're not really changing the shape of it or how big or small it is. It's basically you're just moving it left, right, up, down. That's all we're doing here. How do we do that? So if we're doing to the right 3 spaces, then down 4 spaces, you're going to have to do every single corner. So identify the corners. That'd be the first step. So I'm going to identify this as corner ABC. Usually your original points do not have little lines above them. Those are regular. The pre-image is called. So the pre-image has regular capital letters point to ABC. Now after you slide it, after you translate it to the right 3 down 4, so we're going to do that by starting with each point, each corner. So I'm going to start with the top left, which is A. I'm going to go to the right 3 spaces. So 1, 2, 3 squares and then down 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to end up here. So after I slide it, I'm going to call this A prime. A prime as in A new, as in I moved it. So make sure you put a little line on top so that that's a new figure. That's a new image. Do the same thing for C. So to the right 3 down 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. This will be my new point C or C prime. And then lastly for B, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. This will be my last point B prime. So if you connect A prime, B prime, and C prime, you should notice that the image looks exactly the same. It just looks like you just put your finger on top of the image, slid it to the right 3, down 4, and let it go. That's what it should look like. And then make sure you identify the new points as primes, A prime, B prime, C prime. Let's do another example real quick. This one we're going to move to the left 3 of 5. So left 3 of 5, every single point. Notice that there's a lot more points here, so yeah, we have to do it a lot of times. So to left 3 of 5. So I'm going to start with A. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This will be my point A prime or A new. 1, 2. I'm going to start with B now. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This will be my B prime. I'm going to do C. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This will be my C. I'm going to do D now. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This will be my D prime. C prime. I'm going to do E. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. E prime. And then finally F prime. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you did it correctly, if you connect A to B, B to C, C to D, D to E, and E to F, you should notice that the image looks exactly the same. It just looks like you slid it to the left 3 of 5 spaces. The last one, we want to move it 4 units down, so straight down 4 spaces. So you can start with whichever one you want. I want to start with B. So 1, 2, 3, 4, that's going to be here. And then I'm going to move on to C. 1, 2, 3, 4, that's going to be there. D, 1, 2, 3, 4. E, 1, 2, 3, 4. F, 1, 2, 3, 4. A, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is basically my new image after I slide it straight down 4 spaces. Now, of course, I can't just leave it like that. I have to specify what happened, where are the new points at. So I'm going to call this my B prime, C prime, D prime, E prime, F prime, and A prime, saying that these are the new points after I translate them, after I move them. Okay, the other thing that they could ask you guys when it comes to translations is something like this. So they give you the original and they give you the new image, and you have to say, what is the rule? What happened here? Like, what went on? For you to figure that out, I recommend you picking an original point and a new point. You don't have to choose the whole image if you don't want to. You could just do, let's say for example, B. So I'm going to go ahead and pick B. That's my original B, and that's my new point B. If I want to go from my original B to my new point B, well, where do I go? Do I go up, down, left, right? How do I move? So if you look here, it looks like we just move straight to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 spaces. So the rule here for the first one is to the right 7 units. So to get from B to B prime, I have to move it to the right 7 spaces. That's all we have to do here. Say the rule that describes this transformation into that transformation. Okay. Let's do these examples real quick. So pick a point, any point, doesn't really matter. I'm going to go ahead and pick, let's see, D. This one looks like it's more convenient. So how do I get from original D to new D or D prime? So first I got to move left, right, then I have to move up, down. So it looks here that I have to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, actually, no, I think I went too far. Let's try it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spaces to the right, so I'm there. And then I got to move down 1, 2 spaces. So it's to the right 6, and then down 2 spaces. This will be my rule for my for this example, the arrow pointing down. Last one, same idea. If you want to find the transformation to get from one little square or rectangle to the other one, look to see where the original and where the new points are. So if I go from B, that's the right one, to B prime, that's the left one. Be very careful with this. Now they're backwards. How do I get there? So to get from this corner to this corner, I have to go to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then up 1. So my rule will be to the left 5 units, and then up 1 unit. So to the left 5, up 1 to get from B to B prime. Remember, first you go left, right, then you go up, down every single time. That being said, so the last thing they could ask you to do is says to give the following transformations in vector form. So what it is, basically if you remember the x and the y axis, so it looks kind of like this, right? So when you make a graph, typically this is the y-axis, this is the x-axis. The reason why we write them there, this is where y is positive, this is where x is positive. So y is positive upwards, x is positive to the right. Therefore, if you go to the left, x is negative, and if you go down, y is negative. So that's how we know like which way is which, right? So these are my positive numbers, these are my negative numbers for x. Oh, sorry, negative, I should just say. For y, these are my negative numbers, these are my positive numbers for y. Why is this helpful? Well, if you remember the graph, we could actually use function notation in vector form to be able to describe transformations. Instead of writing it in words, which takes up a lot of space, mathematicians are really lazy. Let's try to save space if we can. So 2 units to the left and 3 units up. How do we write that in vector form? So to the left would mean x is negative. So that would be x minus 2, because I go to the left 2. Now 3 units up. Well, up, if I want to go up, y is positive. So it's going to be 3 units up, or y plus 3. Done. So I'm actually saying in the same exact, in vector form, I'm saying the exact same thing. I'm saying I got to move every single x value to the left 2 and every single y value up 3. So therefore, this is saying the same thing in vector form. Okay, next example, to the 3 units right and then 2 units up. So if I'm going to the right, it's going to be x. Wait, that's not an x. If I'm going to the right, it's going to be in the x-axis. And it's going to be to the right 3, so plus 3. And then I got to go 2 units up, so it's going to be y plus 2. So to the right 3, up 2. Let's try the next one. 5 units to the left, 4 units down. So 5 units to the left, so it's going to be x minus 5. 4 units down will be y minus 4. Okay? So to the left and down, that would be there and there. Lastly, 1 unit to the right, 2 units down. So 1 to the right, that would be x plus 1. 2 units down, that would be y minus 2. What if, because I don't have an example here specified, but what if they just say one thing? What if they just say 2 units down? Just like that. You don't move to the left or to the right, you just want 2 units down, that's it. How would you write that in vector form? Well, since you don't move to the left or to the right, you just basically write x, or x plus 0, and then y minus 2. Now, you're never going to see x plus 0 because that's kind of, unnecessary. So typically the way people write that is they just write x as in not moving anywhere, and then y minus 2 as the final vector. Okay, hopefully this video was helpful. If you have any more questions, read into it or look at your notes. See you guys in class. See you on the next one.